And Adams, Dwight Freeney joining me momentarily. What is this? The rap sheet saying the Colts have made it official. Dun, 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 dun. Rookie quarterback Anthony Richardson is their Week 1 starter. Oh, I don't know if I like this. For more on Richardson, all things Colts, of course, all things NFL, we have an absolute legend. The best person to talk to about this. One of the best pass rushers of all time. He's got moves. He's got Pro Bowls like a bajillion. 7, I believe, which is insane. And, of course, the hardware. Dwight Freeney, how are you? Welcome back.
I'm good. How you doing, Kay?
I'm good. I'm so glad I have you. It's like a little bit serendipitous. It's a little kismet because we have this Colts news this morning. Listen, we got the whole Anthony Richardson experience, Dwight. There were some ups, there were some downs. He's got the ceiling to be the best player we've ever seen, but he's a rookie. I'm kind of an old lady. I like to wrap him up, protect him. I don't want to roll him out there right away. Most rookies, I want to give a chance to sort of sit back, chill, and develop. Yeah. You played with Andrew Luck his rookie year. He was able to go out there and crush immediately. Richardson, you know, isn't that same looking finished product coming out? Do you think it's right to put him out there week 1?
I think because of what they're going to be doing around him, I think it works for them. All right, they're going to be running an RPO type of style offense. A lot of, reading the defensive end, linebacker, run pass options. That is something that he's very familiar with. Now, he's only had 1 year at quarterback with Florida. Right, so he doesn't have a lot of experience to begin with, but this type of system will be the best type of system for a guy like that. Andrew was a little bit different. Andrew Luck was a guy who, played 4 years at college. So he was already, somewhat polished coming in. So this is a different scenario, different situation, and you know what? I agree with having him go out there and kind of figure it out because he needs reps. He needs to see live hits. He needs to see that because he doesn't have even a lot of experience in college. So hopefully they can protect him, all right, within the system and the scheme.
Right.
He's not a traditional drop back passer. He's not sitting there throwing, reading coverages every down, and I need to figure this out. They have an RPO. He's going to run that RPO to absolute death until third down.
I don't know. They don't even know what's going on with Jonathan Taylor. Like you're saying, hopefully they can protect. Okay, well, I don't know if this is like your old school mentality and I'm like playing mama bear here, but you're saying he needs reps. Well, great. So that's what the preseason's for. So be out there the whole, that's fine. But I mean, it's risky, right? Like, can't this hurt them? Can this hurt him developmentally? We've seen it before.
I think in general speaking, when you have quarterbacks going out there the first year, you flip a coin and say, okay, heads or tails, is it going to hurt him or is it going to help?
Okay.
Right. And sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. Right. It just depends on the system that you're in. And that's what matters. If you have a system that you're comfortable with, then you can flourish and you can play early and it's no problem. But if you're not comfortable with your system and you're a rookie quarterback, and you get back there, and it's a drop-back pass type of offense, and you have to read a coverage, and you sit there and read a little bit slow, or that pass is a little late, you're going to get hit in the back of the head by an outside linebacker defensive end time after time after time, or a blitz that you didn't see. We're not asking, or they're not asking him to do all of that right away. It's pretty much going to be a lot of RPO run-pass options, all right? We're handing the ball off to whoever is back. Okay, they had a terrible season last year. We're not talking about a Super Bowl contending team here that needs to win right now. It's somewhat of a rebuilding. The defense is solidified, okay, because of last year they played pretty well, so they kept all the pieces there. They had to get the offense going, all right, and that's what's going to happen. And look, how bad they were last year, they only looking up right now, all right. So regardless of what's happening, having him there, it should be a positive influence. It should be a really good thing for the Colts if they keep it simple for him and don't ask much of him. And he can use his athleticism when he needs to and get out of a jam.
With how bad they were last year, they're going to need him to do an awful lot. I just feel like if he sits, he can develop. He can learn to read defenses. He can then become a guy who can do all of that as a drop-back passer. But the system, you're totally right, it matters. But when I hear rebuild, Freeney, I hear, sit his butt down and put some bubble wrap around him. But you,
Well,
I mean, okay, so tell me this. Okay, so you've got the Josh Allens in this division. You got Trayvon Walker. Like, you got yous, people who want to be like you out there. What are you saying to this kid when he's thrown out there as a rookie to the Wolves?
listen, all he needs to do is put the blinders on and go ahead and focus on his craft. Focus on the things that he worked on every single day at OTAs, rookie mini camp, and all the stuff that he's done to this point, right? The rest is going to take care of itself, all right? You go out there as a quarterback and a drop back quarterback, it's a lot different world, all right? He's not the Aaron Rodgers, sitting behind Brett Favre or another, great quarterback sitting behind another guy and taking notes because this coverage looks like this, and all of a sudden they change it over here, so you have to figure. It's a different situation for him. Does he have to do some of that? Absolutely. But how much he has to do, it depends on the system and the scheme. If you think about how it was for Russell Wilson when he came out, they didn't ask him to do a whole bunch, okay?
Right.
He did throw the ball, I don't know, maybe 20 times a game, maybe. And it was simple passes, but they were handing the ball off more times than not. Okay, so that's kind of where I see it, where he can get his comfort level, get his feet underneath him. RPO, run the ball, pass when you need to pass. We're not asking you to win 15 games this season. We're not asking you to win the Super Bowl. We're asking you to get better, and let's see what happens. Make the playoffs, and you never know if you can make it and what happens after that. Right? And that's a big ask. But as long as he goes out and does what he needs to do, man, those legs and the athleticism that he has, anything can happen. He's a big X factor when it comes to that.
Can Anthony Richardson be Russell Wilson his first year? Marshawn Lynch, LOB?
Well, I think that is a defense. You got the defense there, and you have Marshawn Lynch, who's a Hall of Famer maybe one day, right? This is not the situation here, right? But if you have a system, that kind of protects you, you can have success. Now, what does that mean?
Yes.
I don't know. It can mean 10 games. You know what I'm saying? It may not mean,
10.
You're going to win the Super Bowl. But guess what? You could have a successful year that way. And don't forget, they have a pretty good defense on the other side and an experienced defense on the side. So I know people love just talking about the quarterback position and offense. I get it. But you do have another side of the ball who's out there who can also do some great things and change the game. So he's not out there by himself. All right. He just has to manage the game, get better week by week, keep your expectations low. Don't try to do too much. And just look at the scoreboard at the end of the game, and hopefully you have more points than the other team.
I mean, I don't see Bobby Wagner out there with him on the field either. But you know what? Russell Wilson's still looking for those things. He's still looking right now for his Marshawn Lynch and his LOB and his bounce attack. It is the most Dwight Freeney defensive thing ever for you to be like, throw him out there. He's good. Like these little quarterbacks, they're fine. They're good. Like get it.
They gotta learn. Sometimes you gotta get baptized in the fire.
It's so funny that you're just like, relax. We got it. Now you mentioned Aaron Rodgers, Dwight, and that's a great take on Anthony Richardson. I just learned a lot of perspective, and it does the RPOs. Just everyone shut up. Let him ride, and maybe he'll
let him do this. Let him do this all day. And just run.
Nothing better than we've never seen a disaster before. I've never seen a young quarterback get hurt developmentally as they learn how to build an airplane while they're flying it. It's okay. No, I like that though.
It is what it is.
And you mentioned Aaron
it happens
Rodgers.
to all of us. Look,
I know.
This happens. Every rookie guy comes out has to go out and get baptized in this whole world of chaos in the NFL. Okay.
What was yours?
Quarterback do this. For me, I'm out there playing defensive line, trying to chase down Aaron McNair. You got Brad Hopkins, you got other guys taking me out left and right. You got to learn, man. That's the only way you learn is get out there. Quarterback, you could sit back and sip your little margarita and just chill out on the bench and take your little notes and just kind of look at it from a cerebral type of way. All right. But most positions, you have to get out there and you have to play. Now, and Anthony, he's doing the RPOs and running, so it's a little bit different. It's not the same.
Anthony, you've got it easy. Anthony, listen, I ain't
saying easy.
I know.
I ain't saying it was easy.
I like your take, and I think it's fair and refreshing, and that's why I love talking to you. I want to ask you about something that happened this last weekend that was wild, okay? Defensive lineman C.J. Okoye of the Chargers. Okay, this kid played in his first organized football game. He's a Nigerian native. He goes to the NFL Africa camp last year and was then signed by the Chargers through the International Player Pathway Program. Shout out our friend Henry Hodgson. Now, you played for the Chargers a few seasons toward the end of your career. How impressive is what C.J. Okoye was able to accomplish, getting a sack in his first game ever, even if it's a preseason game?
Listen, sacks are not easy to come by. When you understand is that when you get a quarterback sack,
I don't know,
you're
seems
fighting
kinda
against.
easy.
Listen, okay, you're failing. You're failing. Understand, if there's like 30 pass attempts and you fail 29 times, that means you got blocked, you got beat up, you got held, because they never call holding ever. But let me not go there. Then you finally get one. That's where you see all the sack dances, you see all the celebration, because that's how hard it is. All right, it's not an easy thing to do. And I just saw his sack. He had to fight through a couple guys to get there. Man, listen, I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him.
I don't know. It's his first game out. It's kind of like when Lady Gaga won the Oscar for Best Actress in 2019. Like, is acting that hard? Lady Gaga's never acted, but she just wins an Oscar? I don't know. It looks pretty easy to me.
Listen, in the preseason, it is.
Yeah, that's amazing. We love what was going on with C.J. Okoye. It was a special moment, incredible. We, of course, are rooting on him, of course. Anything this season you want to talk about? Or you want, Joe Thomas, of course, the Hall of Fame. He's there. He came out and said, I want to see my guy Dwight Freeney in it. Did you watch the ceremony? Did you avoid it completely? Where are you at with the Hall of Fame?
I watched it. I watched parts of it as much as I could. I thought that it was great. Those guys that made it deserved to be there. Joe was a beast, man. Joe was the best offensive tackle in his era, and he deserved, to be there. DeMarcus Ware obviously deserved to be there. Those are guys that, Revis deserved to be there. Those guys are beasts, man. And they went out there and they played at a super high level and changed the dynamic of when you went and played Cleveland. I know for me, I had to say, okay, I got Joe, I got to go after. It's different. It's a different game. You can't sit there and watch the film and watch guys beating Joe and then say, I'm going to work that move. I'm going to do what that guy did in this game. You have to come up with something completely different, because you're not going to turn on the film and see anybody beat Joe, right? And Joe's done it for year upon year upon year, man. So I was just happy to see him in there. He's a great guy.
Dwight, you're a great guy, and Joe's saying that what makes both of you great guys, the fact that you had his number so bad on that O-line. You know how many sacks you had against Cleveland in 7 career games?
No idea.
8.
I have no idea.
8.
Yeah. Well, I like playing Cleveland.
So you're talking about you like talking about all these guys that changed the game, were dynamic. Yeah. That's you. I had Devin Hester on the show recently. He said he cried when he was told he wasn't in first ballot. Is it emotional?
Yeah, it can be. And for me, it was one of those things where I tried not to pay attention to it. I swear to God. Because it was, I was good until the finals. When you are a finalist, then you have all the old timers and all the guys who played before say, hey, man, you are shoo-in. You're in. Don't worry about it. I got, Strahan. I got Bruce Smith. I got guys that I played against from an offensive line standpoint say, you're good. So now all of a sudden you get excited. And I hate getting excited over things I have no control over. I absolutely hate it. So when I wasn't picked, it was a shot. It was like a blow, because I felt like I was so close. And even though I tried not to really pay attention to it, it was sitting there in my face everywhere I would go. I would go to the golf course, try to hide in the back of the golf range, driving range, and guys would come up to me in their lawnmowers and say, hey, man, you're a shoo-in. Don't worry about it. I'll be there waiting for you. So when you don't make it, it's like you have nowhere to hide. You get everybody texting you saying, you got robbed, you this, that, and the other. But it is what it is. You have a lot. It's a tough job to be a guy who has to pick only 5 guys. I get it. There's a lot of great players that deserve to be in that are not in. And hopefully one day I get in.
Hopefully, I mean, I think I don't want to say you're a shoo-in. That must be so annoying. I hate
Don't
that.
say that.
I hate.
Don't
it's the
say
word.
that.
I won't. I won't say that. But you know where you belong, and you know
Yeah.
what's ahead for you. And I think you're handling it really, really well. And I hope you sort of handle it like Isaac Bruce did when he made the Hall of Fame president wait. Did you hear that story? I think you should be like,
what happened?
Isaac Bruce waited so long to get in the Hall of Fame that when former Hall of Fame president, Mr. Baker, knocked on his door, he made him wait. He made him knock like 7 times. He just sat there like smoking a cigarette, not really, but you know, sat there like whatever, waiting, and then finally came to the door and was like, "Can I help you?" Because
Oh my goodness!
I quite enjoy that sort of experience, but I'm sure
awesome.
you won't handle it.
Not. They didn't have him wait too long. I hope not. You know, but I get it, man. It's a tough thing when you have your expectations up every single year, thinking that you're going to do it. It's tough, man. It's definitely tough.
And now Tori's waiting. I want to ask you about a future Hall of Famer, Aaron Rodgers. You last visited us a long time ago. It was March, and Aaron wasn't even part of the Jet squad yet, but you. You were sort of like, I don't know if they would turn them into Super Bowl contenders. There's so much hype now. How are you feeling about Aaron Rodgers and the Jets and what they can do this season?
Well, look, whenever you put Aaron on a team, your chances are increased. He's that good of a player, you know, especially at that position to where so you have to manage the entire offense and the ball is in your hands so often. I think having a guy like Aaron makes you a contender. Okay, now, winning the Super Bowl just because you got Aaron Rodgers doesn't, you have to have other pieces. Your defense has to be balling at the right time. Your offense has to be humming at the right time. So it's a lot of luck that has to go into it. You can have the best team on paper. You know, many years, the Colts, we had a great team on paper, but you know, momentum sometimes gets funny. You'll win 14 straight games and you think you're on top of the world. You take 2 days off, you take a game off, and then all of a sudden you go into the playoffs and you lose the first round. It just is what it is. But I think that the Jets obviously are now in the conversation of being one of those teams that could possibly make a run. And that's because of Aaron Rodgers and how great he is.
It's really beautifully said, Dwight. I'd love to talk to you more. Please come on whenever you can. If you're ever in LA, would love to see you in person. And until then, maybe you answer the door with your spin move and say, here's how I feel about your Hall of Fame.
Absolutely. I love it. I'll definitely think about that.
An ambulance is standing by. Dwight Freeney, you're the best. We appreciate you. Thank you so much, and love the refreshing takes on everything going on with Anthony Richardson and across the league. We will be back after this. Hey, thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest Up and Adams content right on YouTube.